Good morning, Algebra 1 students. I hope you enjoyed your long weekend. So today we're going to be talking about another equation for linear equations called point-slope form. First thought is, why do we need another one of these formulas? This is our third one of the formulas for linear equations. And it's because not all graphs are drawn near the y-axis, and our other formulas really use those intercepts, the places where the graph crosses the axis. So they're not always drawn there. And the second reason, sometimes those intercepts are missing numbers. They're fractions or decimals, and they're hard to find, or they're too big to fit onto the graph. So this is kind of the backup to the backup plan. So this one isn't as useful sometimes, but again, sometimes it is. So first off, let's talk about what we need here. This part in blue. It says need the slope. That's the m number. And again, here, if you can, looking at the formula down below already, you can see that m number is going to go right there. And we also need the coordinates of any point on the line. It doesn't have to be near the intercepts anymore. It can just be a random point way out in space. And that point is called x1, y1. And we've seen those numerals before down on the bottom called subscripts. And those numbers mean nothing to the problem. They just mean those two numbers come together. It's the first ordered pair. Like remember I said up here, we need any one point. And that one point kind of like a last name that has the last name 1, x number 1 and y number 1. All right? And if you look at the formula down in the box there, y minus y1, well, this right here is that y1 number I was just talking about from from our ordered pair. And then equals m times x minus x1. Well, this x1 is the number that comes from this part of the ordered pair. So all three of those things I just underlined will actually be numbers in your problem. The plain y, this one over here, this y, and the plain x, this one here, they will still be in your final answer. But the other three things will all be replaced with numbers. It's just a matter of putting the right numbers in the right spot. So let's practice. All right, so if I already know that the slope is 1/2, that's my rise over run, so it's fine that it's a fraction. You're not going to have to do any fraction work with it today, so it's fine. And our point is 3, 7 on the graph. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to plug the numbers in. We're going to make sure we plug them into the right spot. So this slope number here, the 1/2, that's my m number. So I'm going to be plugging in a 1/2 right there in the equation. Now, this point is my x1, y1. Now that 3 is the x1, and that x1 number is going to go right here in the back. And then the 7 is the y1 number, and it's going to go all the way up here to the front. So let's go ahead and fill those numbers in. This y will always be there. The minus sign will always be there. And the number we're going to put where the y1 is the 7. And the equal sign's always there. The m, we know what that number is. It's 1/2. Sorry, I wanted to switch colors. 1/2. And the parentheses and the x and the minus sign, those are always there. And then last is that x1 number, which in this problem was a 3. And there we go. We have point-slope form. Obviously today we're not doing very hard work with it. We're just learning what it looks like, plugging some numbers into the right spots and getting used to a new formula. The next couple of days, we're going to do a little bit more with this. But for today, that's it. We're just getting used to it. So let's try it with some negatives involved this time. All right, now remember this -3 here, that's my m. The -2 here is my x1, and that 4 is my y1 number. So let's replace those things in the formula. So again, the y and the minus sign are always there. Now my y1 number is a 4. All right. Next, the equal sign's always there. And then the m number, I'm replacing it with a -3. And the parenthesis and the x minus, it's always there. Now the x1 number gets replaced. And the x1 number is a -2. Now there was already a minus sign in the formula. That minus sign from the formula was already there. Now, the other minus sign came from the -2. And hopefully you all remember what to do when you have two minus signs next to each other with nothing in between. Those two minus signs turn into a plus. Now I'm done. That's about as tricky as it's going to get today, is just dealing with those double minus signs and having to switch them to a plus. I mean, that's not really all that hard. So let's try one last one, and I put a lot of tricks in this one. Again, like I said, it doesn't really get that tricky. So these are the trickiest things I can show you. All right, so first off, the slope, that's my m number. And then the point, that's my x1 and my y1 numbers. So again, those three things will be replaced in this equation. The y and the minus are always there. Then the y1 number, which is a 0. Then equals m. That m number is -1. And then x minus the x1 number. And that x1 number is again a -12. So that happened again. All right? And then one other slightly tricky thing happened. This -0. In math, we don't write that. We don't ever write plus or minus 0. So everything else is fine. And then there it is again. That double minus sign will act like a plus. So like I said, this is about the trickiest things I can give you. And those things weren't really all that tricky. All right, if you need any help on this today, let me know on the Zoom. I'll be there to help. Good luck.